for Persons with Disability to harvest the mukula in Luapula, which at that time after signing, I needed to mobilize myself. We did, and I had to send a team of my guys to Luapula. But maybe also as something which is important, before I go further, it's better I explain myself, people know who I am.
Exactly.
Because they will just be saying, who is this gentleman?
Indeed, yeah.
As you had put it, I'm Maxon Tembo, the Chief Executive Officer or the Director for ACK Group of Companies, which consists of ACK Logistics, ACK General Suppliers, and ACK Construction. We signed a contract with Zapid on ACK General Suppliers. Everything went well. This is the contract which is here, which I have in possession. If you're able to see it, they can pick it. This is a contract which we signed with Zambia Agents for Persons with Disability for us to harvest the mukula in their farm in Chipiri district of Luapula province. This document was signed, as you can see here, by the Director General for Zapid, Madam Julian Mwape. They had the witness of John Kinuna, who is an inspector, and you can see here I signed myself as a Chief Executive Officer, and my other partner who signed here, who was accompanying me. This document, part of the contents to this document were we can only start working upon payment of the agreed amount per container. In this case, we agreed that we are going to buy one container at 100,000 kwacha and 50,000 kwacha to be paid as deposit before we harvest, and the other 50% will be paid after export. To me, it was a fair deal. Why was the 50% to be paid after export? They had an obligation to do as Zapid, that is to facilitate the movement of timber from Zambia up to the final destination. So if I wanted to take the timber to America, to China, to England, it was the duty of Zapid to furnish all the necessary documentation.
Right.
Of course, I'm supposed to pay for them. All statutory fees are supposed to be borne by ourselves,
Right.
which we did. After paying the deposits, you can see some of the receipts here which I have. Maybe they could be a little bit faint. Here we paid 2 million kwacha. We paid some other payments of about 540. Here you can see. Paid other payments like 300,000 kwacha. Paid another payment here, 280,000 kwacha. All these were paid to Zapid,
Right.
knowing that we have a contract with them.
The ruling United Party for National Development, UPND National Youth Chairperson Gilbert Liswaniso, has charged that no UPND member will be allowed to forcefully acquire trading space or shops in public places such as markets and bus stations. Mr. Liswaniso says every Zambian citizen will be allowed to trade in public places regardless of their political affiliation.
Ruling United Party for National Development UPND National Youth Chairperson Gilbert Luswaniso has charged that no United Party for National Development UPND member will be allowed to forcibly acquire a trading space or shops in public places such as markets and bus stations. Mr. Luswaniso says every Zambian citizen will be allowed to trade in public places regardless of their political affiliation.
We have taken upon ourselves that we don't want to see a PF member, not just a UPN member, to go back. No, we want them, all of them to work together now. And that's what we are trying to do. It's not an easy task because somebody was just for 7 years, for 10 years. He wants his shop. Okay, now it needs leadership now when we are engaging them now to understand that yes, they did this to you, but can we work in this way now so that everybody now feel that is part and parcel of this country. That's what we want to do. So it needs flow politically, it needs leadership, how we are solving this problem. So those conflicts will be there, but I can assure you that it will be settled as soon as possible. That's why I'm putting leadership within these areas to monitor the activities in those areas.
He further warned those UPND members that want to take advantage of their political being in power to grab trading spaces from PF members to stop doing so or risk being reported to the police. Mr. Swaniso has also urged the UPND members with shops in public places such as markets and bus stations to embrace the Patriot Front members or any other member of the opposition political parties to freely conduct their businesses from the trading places. Margaret Chota, MUVI TV News in Lusaka.
The Christian Coalition in Zambia has appealed to the opposition Patriotic Front party members to give enough time to the UPND administration to settle before they can begin to offer checks and balances. Christian Coalition Secretary General Dr. Paul Mbulo says Zambians, especially the opposition Patriotic Front, should give President Hakainde Hichilema more time as he's only in office a month, as compared to the many years that the Patriotic Front administration spent destroying the country. Dr. Mbulo explains that the amount of bitterness being shown by the former ruling party is not good for the country, stating that President Hakainde Hichilema cannot change the prospects of the country in such a period. He adds the president has brought back media freedom, freedom of speech, expression, and opposition political parties are operating freely, hence needs to be supported.
On serious note, my fellow educated Zambians, you worry me. Can one honestly not understand the concept of time? 1 month in marriage, you want your wife to have a baby. Not just a baby, but a walking baby. Not just walking, but also running and contributing to the food basket in your household. What kind of concept is that? People, let's be realistic. His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is still using a budget left by the Patriotic Front. So from which allocation do you want him to do wonders in 1 month of being in an office? His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has not even finished assembling his working team, like the permanent secretaries, the district commissioners of various organizations, bosses of parastatal companies, and the nearest appeal to my fellow politicians and ordinary citizens of Zambia who are in the opposition political parties, especially the Patriotic Front, as well as the opposition sympathizers. Let us allow His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema to exhaust his 60 months mandated to lead Zambia, after which you may vote him out. But remember, he will raise the bar, making it hard for everyone to cut it, his 10-year constitutional 2 terms.
A former security guard at Hybrid Poultry Farms has called for assistance from the members of the public to help him recover what is duly owed to him. Tafen Milambo, who lives in Mazabuka's Nega Nega area, says he was unfairly dismissed by his former employer in December 2020 while working in Chisamba district. Milambo says after being unfairly dismissed and sued his former employer in the magistrate court, A judgment was delivered in his favor. However, he laments that there has been interference in the enforcement of the judgment by court officials who he claims have been conniving with hybrid poultry farms.
Tafen Milambo, a former security guard at hybrid poultry farms, has called for assistance from members of the public to help him recover what is duly owed to him. Milambo, who lives in Mazabuka's Nega area, says he was unfairly dismissed by his former employer in December 2020.
Niko mpulena ndirama sibananipasi bananipasa chabe 4.9 instead they only pass 17 something na hours was anali kupitia 4 hours a day 12 hours a day tilingana na mapotri manizi bamene ba 8 hours kufora so nikirema na mawazi ndirama ba mawazi then na graduate ndirama bonse banipasire ka 7
Milambo says after being unfairly dismissed, he sued his former employer in the magistrate court and judgment was in his favor as Hybrid Poultry Farms was ordered to pay him 32,254 kwacha instead of the 4,910 kwacha given to him at the time of his dismissal. Despite this being the case, he laments that there has been interference in the implementation of the judgment by court officials who he claims have been conniving with hybrid poultry farms.
Inaenda kuna ku Major Street Court na kule office ba company sibenzo fika. Paka wanafika chabe ifike pa court berifu kuli ba Major Street Court kuja. Ndiye pamene banaenda kupempa kuti musabwire kuti kutipoka katundu. Tipempa kuti aba bantu babwire chabe ku office tikakambisani kuti tibapasire ndirama ba andi wanaichwasa kuja ku Major Street Court tikalibo vomera fye kuti baichose ba Major Street Court banakana kuti tikambisani kuti banakamba kuti iyo simankani yatu muyapereke ku High Court tizapereka bwanji ku High Court nanga pamene tinali kubwera kuno why munali kutipokerera paka yafika pa court berifu abantu bano baku company sibabwe.
Milambo says life has been hard taking care of his family and spending more money to recover what is owed to him has made the situation worse.
So na konkandirama lero kuti ni pezeko tandizo na ine nizichingirize nipeze monkalira life yavu niyovuta niliko na family kwa mene niliri nirenti so ndiye tandizo ya mene nifuna na ndirama ya hours 4 hours a day nifuna na ma transporting ya mene ninali kuruza yonse banipwezereko.
Virginia Chilongo, MUVI TV News, Lusaka.
You're watching the news on MUVI TV. We take a short break. Join us for more on the other side.
Citizen College for Health Sciences is recruiting in the following courses: Diploma in Registered Nursing, Diploma in Abridged Nursing, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Primary Education. Other programs include Project Management, Business Administration, Power Electrical, Public Relations, Computer Lesson, and many more. For more information, contact our marketing team on the following numbers: 0978 62 9093 or 0977 410530. or come in person at our Lusaka campus in Cairo Road, ShopRite Building, first floor, or our Ndola campus, Luaresha, Mushili, Masaiti. Enroll now and get a 20% bursaries for the first 50 applicants.
I take it to the mark. I turn it up, I turn it up, like fire, I'm burning the air. I take it to the mark. I turn it up, I turn it up, 'cause I'm a superstar.
Apple Max, now in new 500 mils.
Presenting Mr. Money!
Mr. Money, he knows it all. I'm here to tell you what Airtel Money is all about. Move cash from the bank to any Airtel Money account. Are you tired of long bank queues? Get Airtel Money, that's what you use. Mr. Money, he knows it all, money. He knows it all. Save and earn interest in your Airtel Money account. Take loans for emergencies and get your right amount. That's right, Mr. Money. He knows it all, money. He knows it all. Do it all with Airtel Money. Transfer money from your bank account to Airtel Money. Save money, earn interest, and loads more. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
One experts. Enjoy true feelings, a flood of emotions. The taste of victory. Are you ready? Use promo code and get 200% bonus.
Minister of Education Douglas Siagalima has advised unions and associations in the education sector to engage each other and resolve their differences peacefully and live as one. There has been a rift in the education sector involving 7 teacher unions and 2 associations, namely the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NAKES, and the Movement for Restoration of Teachers' Affairs, MORETA, who, among other things, are calling for teachers to leave the 7 established unions, citing failure to address their plight. Commenting on the matter, Mr. Siagalima says the ministry has no say on the operations of unions and associations in the education sector, as they are handled by the Ministry of Labour. He, however, has urged all unions and associations in the sector to come together and draw boundaries of their operations to avoid confrontations as being witnessed.
Continuous attack by Movement for Restoration of Teachers, MORETA, which we doubt if it exists, and the National Association of Quality Education in Zambia, NAKES, on the labor movement is quite sad and worrisome. According to the Societies Act, Cap 119, the 2 associations are registered under the Registrar of Society, and therefore they do not have the mandate to represent the teachers in the labor matters.
Minister of Education Douglas Siagalima has urged unions and associations in the education sector to find an amicable solution to their differences through dialogue, stating that the ministry has nothing to do with their business.
Well, unions are separate from the Ministry of Education. They actually fall under the Labor Ministry. So I think it is not about the Ministry of Education to bring sanity to them if there is insanity. It is up to them actually to build sanity within themselves, because they are not really like prescribed under the Ministry of Education. Where they go to, their regulation agreement deals with the Labor Ministry and not my ministry. So I'm not quite sure about the insanity which is there, but if
Mr. Siagalima said the unions and associations should take advantage of the United Party for National Development's agenda for people to settle their differences peacefully.
So this type of war where they are saying non-union, they're interfering with the associations. They must agree. Of course, probably the other associations are just doing checks and balances. But I don't think that they can deal or negotiate for the union. That is the law. So they can do checks and balances, but they cannot. So a line must be drawn how they are interfering, because they are not refusing them to go and negotiate or implement their if you like, their mandate. So if there is a misunderstanding, they must come to the table. After all, we are all called upon to be able to engage. When you think that certain things are not working properly, you engage. And this is our clarion call, ourselves, as directed by the President. Avoid confrontation everywhere and deal with matters on the table.
The 7 unions recently called on the Ministry of Education to bring sanity in the sector by disciplining some associations which it accuses of interfering in its operations. Reporting for MUVI TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
Technology and Science Minister Felix Mutati has called for increased smartphone connectivity, challenging mobile service providers and regulators at the Zambia Information Communications and Technology Authority, ZICTA, in a bid to improve investment that will make the country a connectivity hub in the region. Speaking at a ZICTA dialogue meeting in Lusaka, Mutati says there is need for the science and technology sector to increase its GDP contribution that will be pivotal in the creation of jobs and will help Zambia improve its digital service connectivity and create consumer happiness and harvest tax revenues. The minister has, however, noted with concern that the low smartphone availability in the country, which stands at 30% in the region, contributes only 5 to 10% of the total gross domestic product. And ZICTA Acting Director General Mwenyamutale has stressed the need that authorities' focus will be to ensure increased collaboration through openness and inclusiveness in decision-making based on evidence and data collection.
1, connectivity. Number 2, we address the whole issue of handsets. Our levels of smartphones are somewhere in the 30%. And therefore, if we're going to have a data revolution, it won't happen. Because we need to address the issue of handset. And then in case the next letter is M, it deals around affordability. Affordability in the various services that are provided on both sides, whether it's ZICTA and the operators. And then S is a service. How do we create happiness to those that are receiving service and interacting with you? And then E is education. The customer need to be educated. So that those should be the driving principles for the sector going forward. And then there are simple things that we must address ourselves to. For example, on the ZICTA side,
the United Party for National Development UPND Alliance has described revelations in the Auditor General's report for the year ended 2020 as a clear confirmation of the depth of corruption in the previous administration. Alliance spokesperson Leslie Chikuse says the previous administration under President Edgar Lungu exaggerated prices during procurement to benefit themselves. Chikuse says there is a need to strengthen the fight against corruption in Zambia.
confirms the position of Zambia under the Patriotic Front having been deep in corruption. Deep in corruption for expenditure. But the real message or the real description is basically stolen money from the people. The PF just decided to steal money from the people by exaggerating prices so that they could get kickbacks. And that is the money that we are seeing, the strange monies we are seeing in people's homes. The president did touch about people going outside the country with the colossal sums of money which they are trying to hide and in other countries. And the president has assured us that we shall get to the root of this thing. So the fight against corruption must be strengthened, but it can only be actualized if we begin to see convictions and if we begin to avoid these knowledge and also examine different pieces of legislation like the Anti-Corruption Act of 1980 and other pieces of legislation to give more teeth to these investigative wings to operate in an expeditious manner.
Now, the National Democratic Congress coordinator, Joseph Kasonde, has welcomed the pronouncement by Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu on the cancellation of check roadblocks. Speaking in an interview with MUVI TV, Kasonde says the aforementioned roadblocks were inconveniencing motorists, causing unnecessary congestion and a source of corruption.
Welcome the pronouncements by our Internal Security Minister, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, concerning the snap check roadblocks, which they said no, they have to stop for a while. Of course, leaving out those actual designated checkpoints and the motorized patrols. What we are saying is that those roadblocks, the snap checkpoints, there was too much inconvenience, and also unnecessary congestions were there. Also, in one way or another, we were able to say that there was too much source of corruption from there among motorists and the traffic officers. But what we are saying is, much as this has been said, we don't need to take advantage. As motorists, we are urging them to ensure that there's no careless driving, dangerous driving. No, this is the time when the motorists should be able to be road tax compliant. Driving vehicles that are worthy on the road, and they should be insured. Our police now are operating without interference. They are operating independently. They are operating without any kind of disturbance. So the repercussions could be bad in terms of what penalties the motorists will suffer.
Student for Liberty Association in Monze has embarked on sensitization programs in schools, colleges and universities in a bid to help reduce cases of gender-based violence in the district. Association Director Andrew Munganga says the campaign is aimed at strengthening and demonstrating solidarity for women who are largely victims of gender-based violence, GBV, world over. We have the story coming up right after this short break. Stay tuned.
One expert. Enjoy true feelings, a flood of emotions, a rush of adrenaline, the taste of victory. Are you ready? Discover all this and more as One Expert. One Expert, bets for every taste. Use promo code and get 200% bonus right now.
What is IO? IO is easy and convenient insurance cover via your phone. IO Recharge with Care gives you both My Life and My Hospital. My Hospital covers you should you be hospitalized due to an accident or injury, while My Life helps you take care of your loved ones should you lose your life. Both My Life and My Hospital cover lasts for 30 days. Who can get IO cover? IO is available to all Zambian citizens and residents who are between 18 and 65 years of age and an MTN mobile prepaid subscriber. How do you increase your cover? Auto Boost to quickly grow your cover. Just dial *296#. Select 9 to automatically boost with your selected amount of between 1 kwacha 15 ngwe and 10 kwacha. How do I claim? To claim is easy. Just dial *296# or visit io4u.com/zm and click on Make a Claim, whether you are the policyholder, caretaker, or any beneficiary. Remember, you have 30 days after the incident takes place to make a claim. How do you follow up a claim on your cover? Just dial 111 and select 7. IO is easy, all done via your phone. IO, together with MTN. IO, because you care.
With the new MUVI Relaxer Cream, I get to wear my hair just like I live my life. The newly improved MUVI Relaxer has a moisture lock ingredient that guarantees stronger, longer, healthy hair. So beat the stereotype. Go naturally curly, bouncy, or straight. Don't be ordinary, be extraordinary. MUVI Relaxer's impact on black hair is dazzling. So get moving with MUVI. You'll definitely stand out. MUVI. All day confidence.
The Zambia Student for Liberty Association in Monze has embarked on sensitization programs in schools, colleges and universities in a bid to help reduce cases of gender-based violence in the district. Association Director Andrew Munganga says the campaign is aimed at strengthening and demonstrating solidarity for women who are largely victims of gender-based violence world over. Mr. Munganga expressed concern that some traditional practices have created unbalanced power relations between men and women, hence the need to raise the equality-conscious generation that will act against discriminatory norms. He reiterated the need to promote values of gender equality, especially in young people whose belief systems are still being developed.
Of gender-based violence have been part of the mainstream since time immemorial.
Such views lead to a perception that gender-based violence is a rare and exception, or that it is caused by factors outside men's control. So most males being perpetrators and the females being victims, males actually think that because they're trained in society where they're told to be aggressive, that the pressing issues that affect the society at large concerning gender-based violence. And so this is one of the most commendable approaches that we would want to encourage, that should be taken in preaching out and also spreading the issues that concern gender-based violence and speaking against it. The step that Student of Liberty has taken is actually very vital, because it helps even the attendees spread the word even further. And so this is a very commendable action that they have taken, and I can only wish that even the attendees, wherever they go, spread this news against gender-based violence even to their roommates, their co-workers, and the community at large.
Students for Liberty Zambia is a non-governmental organization that has started sensitizing students on gender-based violence. The organization has seen that introducing sensitization programs in schools would be of help in reducing cases of gender-based violence in the country.
For Liberty is an organization that deals with ideas of liberty. We advance ideas of liberty in all spheres of society, and that no one should be infringed of their right in any way. And so today's GBV awareness event was there just to, let the students know that indeed GBV is there, and actually their role the role that they can play to make sure that it is kept. And so we had two facilitators who rightfully educated us on really our role that we can play, especially as young people, to ensure that individual liberties are not infringed in any way, and what really can we do to ensure that this GBV vice actually comes to an end. And so we would like to say thank you so very much to the two facilitators.
To fight gender-based violence cases will require everyone's participation, but how long it will take is a challenge. Shikabe John reporting for MUVI TV News in Monze District, Southern Province.
Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa has called on local government Minister Garing Kombo to consider white farmers who have lived for years in Zambia and those whose children were born in Zambia to have access to green national registration cards. Mr. Mwetwa says Southern Province is blessed with a good number of white farmers who are of help to the communities of the country. Hence, there's a need to consider giving them NRCs in order for them to exercise their rights and help in the development of the nation.
That as Minister for the Southern Province, Honorable Nkombo, since you sit in cabinet, we have many challenges. I've just outlined two, some of which I'll bring at your office. But I want to conclude on that arena of challenges with the following. That in this province we have a lot of white farmers, maybe more than any other province in Zambia. Now these white farmers, many of them were born here in Zambia. Their children were born here in Zambia. They do not have access to a green national registration card so that they can determine the future of a country which they call home. It is my request as Minister for the Southern Province, sir, that you begin to look around those issues with a considerable eye of favor. And being me that I am, I will continue to push this agenda. Because there is no way today if I go to America, I get citizenship. People who are born here in Zambia because of color, to give them some other funny identity card. That must come to an end here in this province, so that these people, when they get their true identity as Zambians, it gives them more passion for patriotism to invest even more, because they are not just doing it for business, they are doing it for country, their own country, their motherland.
Ministry of Health Director for Infectious Diseases, Professor Lloyd Mlenga, says the recent outbreak of measles in Iteji district of Central Province has been contained. Professor Mlenga says identification and isolation of the first cases was key in tackling the outbreak. He says it is imperative for parents and guardians to ensure that children are vaccinated against measles to prevent infection and transmission of the disease. In September 2021, some parts of the country experienced an outbreak of measles and rubella, which affected over 33 children.
Is also another infectious disease that we fight with, we continue fighting with. Again, I need to say it's one of the preventable infectious diseases, and by prevention, just as we talk of COVID, we also talk of measles as some disease that can be prevented by vaccination. Of course, we had a number of cases reported in certain parts of the country, largely around Iteji, and together with the local ministry, the local offices, their health offices, which are representatives of the ministry, and also the community with ZNPHI, there was movement into the area, and right now it's contained. What I need to really say is that for us to fight this, identification of the first case is very key. Moving in and also isolating those cases that have the measles is another key thing. But also to make sure that people are vaccinated, the children are vaccinated against measles. That does prevent the severe infection, does prevent also continued infection and transmission.
Shortage of empty sacks in Mufumbwe district, northwestern province, is sending worry among residents in the area. Some residents spoken to by MUVI TV News in Mufumbwe district have called on the government to help them by sending empty sacks for them to pack their grain, as it has started going to west, more especially with the coming of the rain. They have complained that most of their maize has gone to west due to lack of packing sacks.
Residents of Mufumbwe district in northwestern province have raised their concerns over the shortages of empty sack bags in some of the Food Reserve Agency depots. Speaking to MUVI TV News in Mufumbwe district, some residents spoken to have called on government to help them by sending them sack bags. They further says that many farmers growing produce in Mufumbwe district have already started going to west due to shortage of packing bags. Just across the country. Hence, there's need for governments to get on top of the problem and ensure that the maize are stored in a good condition for the betterment of the country. Margaret Shota, MUVI TV News in Lusaka.
In the news on MUVI Television, we take our final break. Join us for the rest of the stories on the other side.
One Experts. Enjoy true feelings, a flood of emotions, the taste of victory. Are you ready? Use promo code and get 200% bonus.
Presenting Mr. Money! Send cash and get cash right now from overseas. With international money transfer, it's just a breeze. Receive cash from across Africa at cool rates and receive cash from other networks across states. You can cross borders at any time with your local Airtel line. So many deals with Airtel Money. It's your time. Mr. Money, he knows it all. Send and receive money from most countries in Africa with international money transfer. With our global money partners, transact conveniently across borders.
Citizen College for Health Sciences is recruiting in the following courses: Diploma in Registered Nursing, Diploma in Abridged Nursing, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Primary Education. Other programs include Project Management, Business Administration, Power Electrical, Public Relations, Computer Lesson, and many more. For more information, contact our marketing team on the following numbers: 0978 62 9093 or 0977 410530, or come in person at our Lusaka campus in Cairo Road, ShopRite Building, first floor, or our Ndola campus, Luaresha, Mushili, Masaiti. Enroll now and get a 20% bursaries for the first 50 applicants.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health and cooperating partners, will be conducting the Zambia Population-Based HIV Impact Assessment, ZAMFIA, starting April 2021. The survey is targeting those aged 15 years and above in randomly selected households throughout the country. Participants will voluntarily give consent to be able to participate. The survey will enable individuals to test for HIV in the comfort of their own homes at no cost. Individuals found HIV positive will be linked to treatment, care, and support. The survey will also enable individuals who already know their HIV positive status to retest and know their CD4 and viral load. Trained health workers will visit selected households wearing personal protective equipment, PPE, and Zamfia branded materials with an official identity card from the Ministry of Health to conduct this survey. A similar survey was last undertaken in 2016, and the results have been used to design interventions to prevent the spread of HIV and control the epidemic. The Zambia survey will assess the progress made towards epidemic control and ending AIDS by the year 2030 in line with the set national targets. Zambia, participate and make it happen. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the National AIDS Council with support from the United States Presidency Emergency Fund for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
Former Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia President Jerome Kanyika has charged that the National Health Insurance Management Authority, NIMA, has failed to fund and provide health care to the people despite collecting contributions from over 1 million citizens. Mr. Kanyika says NIMA should be revisited so that it can meet its obligation and reform the health sector. He disclosed that NIMA should begin to implement its services and cure the main problem in the public pharmaceutical supply chain system by ensuring transparent procurement of medicines.
At about 950, I think now they should about 1 million contributors to NIMA, which is a good standing in terms of them doing in terms of collecting the money. Now the problem comes in terms of what they do with the money that is being collected. You see, you know very well that NIMA should first put a priority in providing the service or funding the service that the people need to collect. In this situation, they need to fund a proper primary health care. As you know very well, most of the people, they go to the hospital to just take the primary health care as compared to the secondary or tertiary health care. Then from there, they need also to fund in terms of the members who go to these hospitals who are supposed to get the drugs and all that. But unfortunately, NIMA is not doing that. Go to Kaputa today. There are our mothers, our fathers who are poor, our grandmothers, they are still struggling with the lack of these activities that they are supposed to.
The country's power utility company, ZESCO, has clarified that the power shortages in some parts of the country are as a result of the ongoing maintenance works, including the upgrade of old infrastructure. Company's senior corporate affairs communications manager, Dr. John Kunda, says ZESCO is doing everything possible to ensure that the electricity challenges are resolved once and for all. Meanwhile, Dr. Kunda says the institution received funding from European Investment Bank in order to rehabilitate and renovate the existing infrastructure to ensure that there is consistent power supply in Lusaka.
We are experiencing, especially in the city of Lusaka, is the outages resulting from a number of factors. The major one is that we received funding from the European Investment Bank and the World Bank in order to rehabilitate, and renovate the existing infrastructure, which is old and dilapidated, so that there is reliable and consistent power supply in the city of Lusaka. To that effect, we are upgrading the Leopards Hill substation, the Roma substation, as well as the Waterworks substation. And all the interlinking transmission and distribution lines are being worked on. So most of the outages that are being experienced in Lusaka as a result of these scheduled maintenance works. So you find that places in Avondale, Salama Park, Ibex Hill, parts of Roma and Kalundu are as a result of those major works. On the western part of Lusaka, places including Matero, Kabanana and Chipata compound are experiencing outages in the evening as a result of major works on the substation that got burnt about 4 months ago. We have managed to rehabilitate the entire substation, but we are remaining with the control center that we've been working on. So these outages that are being experienced in isolated places within Lusaka are not as a result of deficit in terms of power generation. They are as a result of either scheduled maintenance works, faults, or outages resulting from serious vandalism that we have been experiencing. Currently, the amount of water that is available as allocated by Zambezi River Authority at Kariba, we are generating on average 391 megawatts on average, that's annual average, and with 21 billion allocation. That is very good for us. At Iteshteji, we have enough water at 87%, which is good to continue generation. So we are generating at full capacity at Iteshteji, we are generating at full capacity at Kafue Gorge Upper, and we are generating 2 machines at Kafue Gorge Lower. Whilst on the northern hemisphere, we are generating at full capacity at Musonda Falls, full capacity at Lusiwasi, 12 megawatts, and Lusiwasi up at 15 megawatts, Chiwangandu at 1 megawatt. And then we have a combined total of 82 megawatts of solar power that is being generated into the national grid. So in terms of generation capacity, we are okay and we are comfortable. But I can assure the general public that so far, we ended load shedding and we are still providing power to the customer.
In sports news, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has announced the return of spectators to stadia whilst observing the 5 COVID-19 golden rules. This follows the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions by the Ministry of Health that also saw it announce the return to normal operations of bars, taverns on Friday. In a statement, FAZ Communications Manager Sydney Mungala says football fans have however been encouraged to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols and also ensure that they are vaccinated as part of helping reduce the risk of COVID-19 infection. And sports analyst Yota Mwanza has expressed happiness at the development, stating that it will help clubs get some revenue as well as allow fans to see their favorite teams play.
A year of not having fans in stadia, Football Association of Zambia FAZ has announced the return of fans to watch soccer matches. In a statement Saturday, FAZ Communications Manager Sydney Mungala said the move follows the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions by the Ministry of Health after reduced cases of COVID-19 in the country. The country's football governing body has, however, urged players, clubs and fans to consider being vaccinated to help reduce chances of getting infected with COVID-19. Commenting on the development, soccer analyst Yota Mwanza said the move will not only bring excitement to the game, but also boost revenue of football clubs.
It's a welcome move, by the Zambian FA, together with, in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth and Sport, as well as the Ministry of Health, to have allowed fans back into the stadium. Fans were crying, were craving, to be able to watch their local teams. And again, when you look at the teams, they need revenue to come into the coffers so that they can be able to pay the players and do one or two things. But much more, it's the advice to the fans that will be trooping back into the stadium that they need to mind the 5 golden rules that the Ministry of Health has indicated. You need to mask up. You need also to observe all these the requirements that have been put through. It's not a license just to come into the stadium without a mask to sit where you want to sit. You need to create space, and you need to understand that COVID-19 is still with us, and it being with us, it's a killer. It has no respect for man, so we need to observe the 5 golden rules.
FAZ has also disclosed that the number of fans to be allowed for the Zambia versus Equatorial Guinea game to be played on October 10, 2021 remain as prescribed by the Confederation of African Football CAF at 20,000. Reporting for MUVI TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health and cooperating partners, will be conducting the Zambia Population-Based HIV Impact Assessment, ZAMFIA, starting April 2021. The survey is targeting those aged 15 years and above in randomly selected households throughout the country. Participants will voluntarily give consent to be able to participate. The survey will enable individuals to test for HIV in the comfort of their own homes at no cost. Individuals found HIV positive will be linked to treatment, care and support. The survey will also enable individuals who already know their HIV positive status to retest and know their CD4 and viral load. Trained health workers will visit selected households wearing personal protective equipment, PPE, and Zamfia branded materials with an official identity card from the Ministry of Health to conduct this survey. A similar survey was last undertaken in 2016, and the results have been used to design interventions to prevent the spread of HIV and control the epidemic. The Zambia survey will assess the progress made towards epidemic control and ending AIDS by the year 2030 in line with the set national targets. Zambia, participate and make it happen. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the National AIDS Council with support from the United States Presidency Emergency Fund for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select MUVI TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the MUVI TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Code tries. Canvas. Charity